board. First step when you're a beginner to paddleboarding is get on the board. Just want to get on the knees. When you stand up, you want to put the paddle like this. So you're up. Now I will take the camera. I'll let it run through. So the first step to paddleboarding, once you're on here, is of course learning how to paddle. Now if you'll notice, my right hand here is on the lower portion of the stem. When the paddle's on my right, I will switch my hands as I move over and put the paddle on my left. And then you simply, as you're paddling, you want to bend your hips as you go. You don't want to bend at your back. If you bend at your back, you're not going to get an efficient paddle. And you will also lose balance, and then of course have the potential of falling, which you don't want. Next, if you'll notice, my paddle is all the way in the ground, or all the way in the water, excuse me. So there's none of this going on, where I'm going to not only create more drag, but I'm going to create a potential for me to turn more. And if I'm not going for that, I can definitely fall. So speaking of turning, what we'll do now is we'll focus on two types of turns. Before we do that, just take notice of where my feet are at too. My feet are in the middle of the board, between that handle there. And this is pretty general on all paddleboards. You're going to have a handle in the center of the board, and you want your feet right over that. That thing should be right in between your feet, always. Now for turning, you can do a gradual turn, obviously, just by simply paddling on the same side. And you'll end up turning. Right now I'm paddling on the left, I'll end up turning to my right. Right now I'm paddling on the right, I'll end up turning on my left. But if you want a more wide turn, what you can do is you can stick the paddle in like this, so you turn it 90 degrees, and you push. You'll notice I get a very wide turn here. Right? I'm turning from the front of this board, doing on the right as well. I can turn. The next objective, it's also important too to note that it might be good when you're paddleboarding to look down at the water when you're beginning. You don't want to look up, as you might have a tendency to fall. I'm going to try and go between these two posts here. What I'm going to do is another type of turn, right? So we're going to go like this, and this is a sharp turn. You'll notice I'm actually stopping too, creating a sharp turn, turning from my back. Now, when you come to that stop, when you move, when you paddle, you are going to have more of a likelihood of turning sharply just by paddle motion. Again, I'm going to stick the paddle in here, and I'm going to push, push, push. There we go. That's about all for an introduction to stand-up paddleboarding. I'd like to thank Stand Up Paddleboarding in Potsdam, Germany for this opportunity. Thanks for watching.